Hello, welcome to our Wednesday devotional. Now, today's a little bit different because I'm actually preparing this devotional for Wednesday, but it's only Sunday night. I'm going to be away, God willing, on Monday and Tuesday at a conference of leaders from various states in the American Association of Christian Schools, and I'm not sure I'd have time to prepare this properly. So if something big happens on Monday or Tuesday, if the world falls apart, this was prepared on Sunday night. And several things have happened today and this week that I think will make an appropriate thought for our day today. First of all, this morning in my reading, two of my verses had to do with death. One of them was in Proverbs 10, verse 7, which says, "The memory of the just is blessed, but the name of the wicked shall rot," talking about how we remember people after they've died. Another one of my verses for today was from the Psalms, Psalm 90, verse 12, which says, "So teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom." So those are things on my mind, and I wasn't obsessing over those things. But then we had our service Sunday morning. It was a good service Sunday morning. I was thankful for what God did in that service. And then I went to lunch with my wife, and while I was at lunch, I had a phone call. Unusual phone call. It was from the family of Brian Holoquist. Brian had passed away a couple of weeks ago, and I'd not heard any details about his service. And he had been a member of our church, but he was an inactive member. So I wasn't sure at all that I would be a part of the service. But the phone call I got was from the family and said, "We need help. We're trying to have a service for Brian, but we were going to have it this afternoon at Cape Henlopen on the beach. And the rain is pouring down. Is there any way we can use the church building for this meeting?" And then they told me, and Brian had told me this, that the man who was performing the service was a Baptist preacher. It was Brian's uncle, who was a pastor in Pennsylvania for many years. So I said, "Sure, come on up and we'll open up the building for you." And so all those things having to do with death, I actually sat and listened to the service and was challenged again about life and about death. And in the morning service, we had announced the fact that Lucy Guerin's brother, Stephen, had passed away suddenly last week. The week before, we had announced that another man in his 40s had passed away. So death and life has been on my mind quite a bit in the last several days. But as I was thinking of those things, my heart went to the missions revival. Missions revival is bringing our missionaries in and letting them preach revival messages. Let them preach to us. Let them challenge our hearts. But as I thought about that, part of the challenge we need, I believe, is this. Number one, we need to be ready for eternity. If you're not saved and you're listening to this devotional, you need to be saved. Now, I imagine mostly saved people are listening, but if you're saved, you need to be ready because Jesus could come back at any moment. And as I see these deaths taking place with people who seem too young to die, I realize that we need to be ready to meet our Savior. We need to have our hearts clean. On Sunday night, this evening, tonight, we've observed the Lord's Supper. As we observe the Lord's Supper, it's a time of preparation and examination. And I would challenge each of you listening to this today to prepare your hearts, examine your hearts, and make sure that you're right should your last day be today. But the second thing is this. We need to also be concerned about those around us, loved ones and friends who are not saved. A missions revival is a great place to invite them. We have special activities taking place different nights. On Tuesday night, we have a lot of music, a half hour of music, just special music. I think will be a blessing. On Thursday night, we're preparing or having brought in pizza and having a meal before the meeting. So a number of things are taking place during the week, special events that perhaps you could invite someone to come with you to the meeting. But this is a time when you can show your concern and your love for them by inviting them out to a meeting. Now, my thoughts really are these. Number one, we should be prepared. And number two, we should help others become prepared to meet the Savior. We have a wonderful Savior. It's possible he'll come. It's possible we won't even have the missions revival. It's possible that it's supposed to be aired on Wednesday morning, that we'll be gone. He could come back that soon. So my challenge today is let's be ready. God bless you. Have a great day.